Hello everyone, welcome. Good morning. It's Tuesday the 9th of April. I hope this finds you all in good health. Today, as I said yesterday, we're going to be going back to 1912. Although, being that this was the day before the Titanic actually launched, we got a few other stories first. This one, first up, is a real-life Shawshank. And I'll leave it at that because I don't want to give too many spoilers, but here we go. Daring escape from a fortress. We have received from a correspondent in Constantinople an account of the escape from the fortress of Jusovaca in Podgorica, Montenegro, of M. Jovanovic, a former foreign minister, and his companions, who have arrived safely in the Turkish capital. For over 4 years, Jovanovic and a number of other ministers, convicted of plotting against the prince, now King Nicholas, were confined in the prison. They were heavily chained and suffered much pain. Soon after their incarceration, they set about planning a means of escape, and in the end, they succeeded. The plan consisted in digging a subterranean passage communicating with the outer world. The prisoners were confined in cells adjoining each other, and they had no difficulty in letting one another know through the walls of the scheme and the progressive steps to be taken. They digged during the night time, and the holes they skillfully covered with the mattresses that served them as beds. For over 6 months this went on, then they were able to gather at night in one cell. It took them another 2 months to cut their heavy iron fetters, and then all was ready. They swore that they would take their own lives should they be detected. They were not detected, however. They played their difficult role with such admirable skill that no suspicion whatever was raised. At the moment of escape, one of their comrades succumbed and they buried him. The sentinels on the Turco-Montenegrin frontier almost succeeded in capturing them. A terrible fight ensued, but the fugitives prevailed. Imagine that. It's real-life Shawshank. But imagine being the guy who died just as they were escaping. That is harsh. 8 months just to die. But what a cracking story. Next up, we cross the American papers for a story about our good friends, science. Brain of noted scientist lighter than a child's. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, April the 9th. The brain of Dr. John H. Musser, the noted diagnostician, who died Wednesday, is not as heavy as the brain of a well-developed child, notwithstanding the fact that he was named as one of the greatest experts in the country on heart disease. It weighs nearly 20 ounces less than the brain of Daniel Webster and 24 ounces less than the brain of James Fisk, the New York gambler who was killed several years ago. Scientists have considered the light weight of the brain of Dr. Musser extraordinary, but they explain it by his not broadening out in all the lines and saying that he developed along one line, therefore not fully developing all parts of the brain. The convolutions in Dr. Musser's brain show that he exercised portions of it to a wonderful extent. Dr. Musser was one of a little group of scientists who agreed to leave their brains to the Sister Institute of Anatomy and Biology. Small brains and exercise, brilliant. Olden day science is literally one of the best things in the world. I love it. So, as I said earlier, this is April the 9th, 1912, and it's the day before that the Titanic leaves Southampton. But despite that, I found the only thing to do with the Titanic that I could really find was one piece of news, which was essentially just a last call for outgoing mail to America to be posted, which would sail on the Titanic. And I did find this one little story. The White Star liner, Titanic, the largest steamer afloat, leaves Southampton tomorrow on her maiden voyage to New York. The great steamer is due back at Plymouth on the 26th instance. The Olympic will be at Plymouth just a week earlier. So it's not exactly the great hurrah, right? I thought it would be like a big lead up to it, but apparently not. Tomorrow, though, will be the big launch day, so there'll be a few pieces there. Anyway, that was yesterday. This is today. Have a good one. I hope you all have a great day. Cheers. Thanks for listening.